Ares, the god of brutal war. The hated god. In the gleaming halls of Mount Olympus, there was one god whom almost everyone despised. His name was Ares, the god of war. Unlike his sister Athena, who represented strategy, wisdom, and the noble defense of cities, Ares represented the sheer, unadulterated horror of battle. He was the god of bloodlust, of slaughter, and of the blind rage that takes over a soldier in the heat of combat. He was the son of Zeus and Hera, but his royal bloodline brought him no love. In the Iliad, Zeus tells Ares directly to his face, "To me, you are the most hateful of all the gods who hold Olympus." Even his own mother, Hera, saw him as a force of destruction rather than a son. Ares did not care for sides. He didn't fight for justice or for a cause. He fought because he loved the sound of clashing iron and the smell of blood. He would often switch sides in the middle of a war, simply to keep the slaughter going. When Ares stepped onto the battlefield, accompanied by his sister Eris, Discord, and his sons Phobos, Panic, and Deimos, Terror, he left nothing but ruin in his wake. The golden net. Despite his brutish nature, Ares was handsome, strong, and virile. This made him irresistible to the goddess of love, Aphrodite. Aphrodite was married to Hephaestus, the smith god, who was lame and ugly, but incredibly skilled. While Hephaestus toiled in his forge, Ares and Aphrodite carried on a passionate, secret affair in the smith's own bed. But the sun god saw everything from his chariot in the sky and reported the scandal to Hephaestus. Hephaestus didn't get angry, he got even. He went to his anvil and forged a net of bronze chains so fine they were invisible like spider webs, yet so strong that no god could break them. He rigged this net over his marriage bed and pretended to leave for Lemnos. The moment Ares and Aphrodite lay together, the trap sprung. The net fell, binding the two lovers naked and helpless in each other's arms. Hephaestus then invited all the Olympian gods to come and witness the spectacle. The gods gathered and roared with laughter at the sight of the mighty god of war trapped like a fish. It was a humiliation that stung Ares more than any spear wound. When they were finally released, Ares fled to Thrace in shame. It proved that while Ares could conquer armies, he could not conquer ridicule. The god in a jar. For a god of war, Ares had a surprisingly poor track record in combat. His reliance on brute strength often made him easy to outsmart. One of his most embarrassing defeats came at the hands of the Aloidae, two giant twin brothers named Otus and Ephialtes. They stormed Olympus not with weapons, but with sheer audacity. They managed to capture Ares, bind him in chains, and stuff him inside a bronze jar. The god of war remained trapped in that jar for 13 long months. He screamed, he raged, but he could not break free. The god of war was silenced, and for over a year, the world knew a rare peace. He would have died or withered away if the messenger god Hermes hadn't eventually snuck in and pulled the weakened Ares out. Even mortals could best him with a little divine help. During the Trojan War, the Greek hero Diomedes, guided by Athena, lunged at Ares. His spear pierced the god's belly. Ares bellowed with a cry as loud as 9,000 men screaming at once, causing both armies to stop fighting in terror. He fled back to Olympus to complain to Zeus, only to be told to stop whining. The father of warriors. Despite his failures and his unpopularity among the gods, Ares was deeply worshipped by those who lived by the sword. The Spartans, in particular, revered him. They saw in him the raw physical courage required to hold the line. Ares fathered many children, most of whom were violent or dangerous. His most famous daughters were the Amazons, a tribe of fierce warrior women who lived near the Black Sea. They were the daughters of Ares not just by blood, but in spirit, independent, lethal, and refusing to bow to any man. He also had a protective, albeit violent, side as a father. When a son of Poseidon named Areopagus tried to violate Ares' daughter Alcippe, Ares did not hesitate. He struck the attacker dead instantly. Poseidon demanded justice. Ares was put on trial by the gods on a hill in Athens. This was the first murder trial in history. Ares argued that he acted to protect his daughter's honor. The court acquitted him. That hill became known as the Areopagus, Hill of Ares, the site of Athens' high court for centuries. The necessary evil. Ares is a paradox. The Greeks hated him because they hated the chaos of war. They preferred Athena's disciplined strategy, but they also knew that Ares was necessary. War is not always strategic. Sometimes it is messy, brutal, and emotional. Ares represents that undeniable reality. He is the adrenaline that allows a soldier to charge into certain death. He is the survival instinct that takes over when reason fails. He is not a king nor a ruler. He is a force of nature. As long as humanity has anger, greed, and a desire for conflict, Ares will never truly be defeated. He walks the earth still wherever the drums of war begin to beat.